Hello, Hollywood Times viewers. Today we welcome member of both Country and Gospel Music Hall of Fame, longtime member of the Oak Ridge Boys, accomplished painter, photographer, and entertainer with 5 Grammys, William Lee Golden, who debuts as a songwriter at age 85 with I've Got My Heart on You, a heartfelt duet featuring Australian singer, songwriter, guitarist, and award-winning artist based right here in Palm Springs, Danni Stefanetti. Is that how you pronounce it?
That's right, you got it.
Awesome. Who is also with us today. Hello, you two. How goes it?
Hello.
Good.
Hi, Judy.
Hi there. Palm Springs, and I'm assuming William Lee Golden is in somewhere in Nashville, Tennessee,
Well,
somewhere.
I'm out in the country here in Nashville, out at our old home place here. It's built in 1786. So out here by the creek.
Yeah, you live in one of the historic homes. One of these days, I'm gonna have to take a trip out there and visit you out there, you and the family.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So we're here to talk about this. I've got my heart on you. What, William, where did the inspiration come for you to write this amazing song?
Well, it's actually the title of the song came from my young son Solomon
Oh.
when he was 5 or 6 years old. He's 23 now, but it's what he used to say. You know, he would leave messages on my telephone when I'd be on the road, like 150 days a year,
Oh.
traveling with the Oak Ridge Boys. Yeah, and an absentee father and an absentee husband, basically. And but he would call sometimes and leave a message, and I might be on stage or whatever. And when I get back to my phone, it would he would leave a message. He would say, "Hey, Dad, this is Solomon. I got my heart on you." And so throughout his growing up, that was kind of his, and he would leave that, and it was so sweet to hear his expression of love using those words, that, and that became a thing that sometimes we would say it back to him, and but it was our thing to tell him that we loved him and I got my heart on you, and but those were his words, and going through a divorce with his mother, and that was about 10 or 11 years ago, maybe. And he was, I guess, 10 at the time. But through his growing up, we traveled a lot together. When I'd be on vacation from the Oak Ridge Boys for a couple of weeks, we'd take trips together. And at the end of a long Christmas tour, we'd go to the Virgin Islands for tropical vacation in the middle of the winter, at the 1st of January. And so we had all those times together through him growing up. And his mother had moved to Austin, and it was kind of out of reach. I'd try to call him, try to text him, but I wouldn't get return calls. And it was getting harder to communicate with as he started being a teenager. And so it was a thing. I was home on a weekend by myself, and Simone had gone to Tulsa to visit her daughter Megan and her young granddaughter Matilda, and I was here alone and reflecting back on and dealing with the fact of feeling a helpless feeling of your child being taken away. You couldn't come home and stay a part of his life, and so it was, I was dealing with heartache and anguish inside. And so I was having a sad day and weekend. And I started trying to get things out of me and reflecting back on from the time he was born. And I was there the moment he was born, and saw his eyes when he first opened them. And it was quite an experience, as a father. And so, but through his life, such treasured memories that I've felt it was slipping away, and I wanted to let him know that how much those meant to me. And so I'd never written a song, but there'd been a lot of songs that had touched my heart in different times growing up throughout my entire life. And so I just kept thinking about it, and I started putting it into words, from my anguish, I started putting words to my feelings and melodies to the words of my mood and melody at the time I'm writing it. And I had that. Jeff Panzer had asked me, I told Jeff I'd shared with him that I'd been writing this song all weekend and that I'd been in that whole depth of the song and I had it all in my mind. And then by the end of the weekend, I wrote it all down so I wouldn't forget what I had going in my mind all weekend. But I knew that I had the melody, but I wanted all the words down so I wouldn't forget. And so I never would put it down on tape. And Jeff kept asking me about it. So then he told me one day, so just put it on your phone then. So Danny can help you put a tape together with that, with music. And I knew Danny and had met her. She'd been to our home and we love her. She's a unique talent. She's got a light that shines inside her that everyone can see. I mean, she glows wherever she goes. And you know, Dolly Parton had that same glow. She still does.
Yeah.
And but it comes from inside her, and she's got this incredible talent as a guitarist, as a singer, and as a songwriter. She's written over 300 songs. So from an old guy that has never written a song to someone who has had experience with putting songs together, Jeff Panzer put us together and wanted her to help me put it all on a tape and to bring it back to me so I could sing it. And she put it to music. I sang it a cappella and sent it to Jeff Panzer. He gave it to Danny, and she put the music, her guitar skills, and she put the feel to it that it needed. She gave it a little kick with her youth. It brought it whole another feel to the song, and that's exactly what it needed. She helped me to repeat a couple of lines, one in the chorus and another one like repeated lines in the bridge, and she thought those lines needed repeating, and she was right. You know, I mean, she helped me turn it into what it is now, and it's I'm so happy. Then she brought all of that, her computer, here to our home in Tennessee on her next trip. She brought a good microphone and her guitar, and we were in the living room here and or in the piano room, and she set up and we sang it. I recorded it here in this piano room, and Jeff Panzer had a videographer here to capture what we were doing. And so we did that as a duet. She helped me sing it. She helped me with all the music. And anyhow, she played a major part of me actually getting it on tape, her and Jeff Panzer.
Well, William, I wanted to say congratulations. I can't believe this is the first song, but welcome to the world of songwriters. You so deserve it.
Yeah, you kind of put your soul and bare your soul is what you're doing sometimes, and that's kind of what I did. But it was something that I wanted to do for my young son that was growing up. He was a teenager then, and he's 23 now and in medical school. And but it was something that I felt like that I was being pulled apart, and I was a helpless feeling, but yet I had all this. Realizing at my age how fast time slips away from us, and got to hold on to those that we love and to share our love when we can. And it was a way for me to share my love as a father to my son, but I also wanted to make the song to where it could apply to different people, where there could be a couple or whatever, you know, because I didn't want to necessarily put Solomon's name on it, but the word, it was from me to him, really, and it was something that hopefully one day he could hold on to and years from now and maybe appreciate it more than he did at the time I was writing.
Yeah. So Danny, tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about what was it like when you met William Lee Golden for the first time or heard this song, and you put a little, your own little, he said to it, what did that song mean to you? I've got my heart on you. Tell us.
Yeah, I met William the first time. It was about a year and a half ago or more on one of my trips to Nashville, and we met through his best friend of 40 years, Jeffrey Panzer, who's my manager.
Okay.
And at the time, that song was just a voice memo, and it got sent over to me after Jeff kind of telling William, come on, put it down. It's more than just some words. Like, you need to show us what this is, because I think Jeffrey knew there was a song there. And so after months or maybe a year of Jeffrey asking William, I got to stay with William and Simone at their beautiful golden era out there in Nashville. And I actually used to live in LA, so Hollywood Times. And I played William the chords and that I had ready for I've Got My Heart on You in a song format, but it wasn't recorded yet. So that was like a year before I came back to Palm Springs and put down layers and co-produced a record. And when I first heard the lyrics that was dedicated to his son, I knew how touching that was, because he's very close to his family, and it was just a touching story. And then once you see the music video, you'll see how it's father and son, that relationship. Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty heartwarming. So yeah, I was like, I want to be part of this. If there's some way I can help, like, let me know. I just want to be part of this. So it was really touching.
Oh, I'm telling you, it is. I'm still crying. I don't want to cry, but I'm still crying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to ask you, Danny, who's like your biggest musical influence besides William Lee Golden?
Of course. I'm very inspired by all the way from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix to Sheryl Crow and Jewel. I grew up on a lot of that. And then country music like Shania Twain, Dolly Parton, but a lot of rock and roll guitarists, Peter Frampton, and the blues, Eric Clapton, is what I really look up to. Obviously, the Oak Ridge Boys are country music legends, and I only got to their music lesson 2 years ago because we worked together, and I was missing out. I wish I had heard of their music a lot longer before I did. Yeah. But I listened to a lot of Americana music, all different genres.
Well, what was it like for you two to record? Like, I never knew that there was not a video for Elvira. I listened to that since day one. I could do the dance right now for you, but I didn't know there was a video. And to see all of the Oak Ridge Boys and that you were on there, I mean, were you like, that was you jamming on the guitar?
Oh, the Elvira?
Yeah, Elvira.
She's on the Oak Ridge Boys' new release of Elvira. We actually cut that about a year ago too, and we did it in Nashville at a club there. And Danny was in town, and so we got her to be in there with Trace Adkins and Big and Rich and a lot of the other country music artists that were there in the club with us to celebrate it. And Danny was one of the played in the band that was on stage, and she was one of the singers that was actually singing the Elvira. The Oak Ridge Boys were in the club sitting at a table and watching the band on stage, and then we started singing with them. That's the whole thing and Kid Rock was there, and it was a lot of people like that in the room. So Danny was a big part of that video with the Oak Ridge Boys too, but we did that almost a year ago. And but yeah, every time she comes to Nashville, we try to get her involved with something going on here.
Yeah.
Oh, so William, you have a young age of 85 because you look amazing, and I've met you, and you're a go-getter. What advice did you give Danny? Have you given her any advice? You know, she's a young gal coming up into her music career. Great career.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, Danny's got all the talent it takes, and the main thing is for her to keep her focus. You know, a lot of people try to pull you in a lot of different directions, but you got to know who you are, and you follow your own visions. And you sometimes it takes quiet time to allow spirit to speak to yourself, and listen to the inner voice speak, and follow your vision, and don't get distracted off from where you want to go in life, and follow the music and where it takes you to. That's what, and you never get too old to learn something new.
Exactly. I'm 64 now, and I bought myself a guitar, and it's like I'm gonna learn somehow.
Oh, I
I'm
love
gonna learn. I
it.
got myself a Yamaha acoustic guitar. And I want to learn.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, William, what he said. I'm going to take that in. We all should take that
Yeah.
in, right?
Well, and Danny was here. She saw my guitar. You know, I
Yes.
played guitar as a little kid growing up myself.
Yeah.
My sister played mandolin and I played guitar. We sang as a duet. It's the first time I've been in a duet again since I was a kid, small kid growing up and playing music with my sister Lynette. So it's good now to be doing a duet with Danni Stefanetti.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Danny, how old were you when you picked up your first guitar? Who gave it to you, and who's your, who did you said Stevie Ray Vaughan and all them, but what made you want to have a guitar? How old were you?
I was 8 or 9 years old, and I just quit dancing because I had 2 left feet. And my granddad did give me one of his guitars, but I think my parents got me one of my first nylon strings before I got a steel string. And I remember I was learning Peaceful Easy Feeling by the Eagles and Take It Easy, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And my fingers at first got, sore, but as I moved over 15 years old, I changed to the electric guitar, and I was like, oh my gosh, the pentatonic scale. And I started loving it. I always did the moment I picked it up.
Yeah.
But the moment my calluses started, my fingers got used to it all. And my guitar teacher nearly wasn't going to take me on because he thought my fingers were too small. But luckily my mum pushed him to give me a shot, and that became my life, playing the guitar. So I encourage everybody to pick it up, because you just never know if you fall in love with it. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She's incredible too. You know that. She's really got a gift and a talent. She has a lot of God gifts in her. It's what she is.
Yes. You're blessed to the two of you get together. Way to go, Jeff.
Yes. Great idea.
Putting you two together. So let's see. Well, what else we have here? So Sydney, Danny, I read that I said Sydney, you played at the Sydney Opera House in 2012. What was that like to you? Because you're from Australia, right?
Yeah, I'm from Perth, Australia, and I won an award for their 2012 Music Oz Awards, and they held that at the Sydney Opera House. And before the award show, they got me to go over there and sing. The organizer Tim Dixon called me up and said we could come perform, and are you coming to the award show? And I said, oh no. And I said, you better come over. And I ended up winning Spiritual Song of the Year. And wow, the Sydney Opera House in Bondi Beach is a really beautiful place. I wish I had spent longer. I'm from the West Coast, Perth. And we've got some beautiful oceans as well. So I do miss home. But it does remind me a little bit of California, Laguna Beach and all of that.
Yeah, we had some great beaches over here. So they gave you some type of award, right? That they gave you?
It was actually a big plaque, and they had the CDs on it. It was lovely, and I had to take it back on the plane. And it was glass. It was quite obvious, It was one of my nicer awards, yeah.
Well, so you got that hung up somewhere nice at your home?
Yeah, I got it in my music room back at my parents' place.
Like William, he's got so many awards, he's probably using them as doorstops, right, William?
No, not really. We got a nice case for them. So, and I treasure every one of them. So,
good for you. Good for you. See, that's the difference between country music, folks. They hang on to them. They're proud of them. I talk to people win Oscars and stuff. Oh, I use them for doorstops. I use them for this. What? Come on. This should be in a case. So there you go. That's the difference, folks, between country music folks and them here Hollywood folks. So
Well, William's got plenty of Grammys in there because I saw them in the glass room.
Yes.
I don't have any Grammys yet, but I was like, wow, look how many you've won, William.
I'm going to be interviewing both of you for a Grammy for this song, so you hold on.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
I'd take that.
So, William, so has the bug bit you? Are you going to start writing more now? And that's what we're going to get from you in the future? Or you're just going to
Well, I don't know. There was another song that was going over in my mind, and it was, but I don't have it all put together yet. But I did have some of the melody too, so it's a little different. It's a different feel.
Yes, yes. So, Danny, can you give us your social media so our folks can find you?
Yeah. So on my website is DanniStefanetti.com, and I'm on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube and all of that. But all my news is on my website, DanniStefanetti.com.
Okay. Yeah. And William, how can we all get hold of you?
Well, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those 3 social medias, and or WilliamLeeGolden.com. And I have a new book out, and you can, if you're interested in that, you can WilliamLeeGoldenBook.com. So it kind of tells my life story with over 200 photographs.
Oh.
A lot of pictures of the Oak Ridge Boys, over 50 years of history of us from the time I joined them in '65 up until the book is published. So anyhow, it's called Behind the Beard.
Nice. Yeah. I want a copy of that so we can interview you about that book. That sounds amazing. And my deepest condolences for the loss of Joe and for your son. I met Rusty and interviewed him, and it just feel like your family, you know. It was very hard for your losses.
Yeah, it's been hard on all of us, so it's hard to accept, you know. But
yeah, it sure
we
is.
have to move forward.
Yes, and you'll bring some great music to us. I could just feel it. It's gonna come out of you now, you know.
Well,
and Danny's gonna help you, right, Danny? You're gonna
be
right there.
He's, William, the way, from what I've witnessed, he's happiest when he's performing and doing his music, and when he's creating art. So not many people could go through the month they've gone through and still be, look at him, he's doing a full day of press, like 20 interviews a day, you know, and he's touring. So whoa.
I know. I was saying, are you touring too, William and Danny? You both are touring.
Yes. I was out this weekend. I just got in this morning with the Oak Ridge Boys. We were out, we were in Pennsylvania, Greenburgh, Pennsylvania, then in Frederick, Maryland. Last night we were in Worcester, Ohio at a big fair, and with a huge grandstand full of people. And then we traveled all night. I got here this morning, and we're talking and visiting with Danni Stefanetti today, and talking about the new record that we've got together, our duet.
A new duet. I've got my.
And I'm happy to be on a song with Danni Stefanetti, because she's going to be around a long time, and she's going to be a big star.
Yes.
And I'm happy to know her at this stage of her life. And if she'll stay the person she is, she'll rise to where she wants to be.
She'll be the queen of country music. You just give it to you, girl, and you'll be right there with all the other legends that are
nice, guys. Wow.
William, were you doing a Christmas show in Nashville this year?
We're doing not in Nashville, no, but we are doing a few shows that are Christmas shows. Yes.
Yes. All right.
I'm doing a couple of shows with my family that are more Christmas. We're doing several Christmas songs in. So Christmas time's coming.
Yes, it is. So maybe we can. I mean, Danny's already here in Palm Springs. I'll have to go check you out there. But William, you can bring the family to Laughlin, Nevada. That's not too far.
Hey, I'd love to do that.
Come out here. It's amazing. Yes. Yeah. So we hope to see both of you. I will come out and see Danny for sure. And William, you stay blessed. And thank you for taking the time to talk to the Hollywood Times. And we always love having you on our show. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Any parting words for your new song?
Well, I got my heart on you.
I'm blushing. How about you, Danny? Parting words for you.
Well, thank you to everybody, Hollywood Times, and yourself, Judy, for taking the time to support a song very close to William and Solomon. And thank you for encouraging up and coming artists like myself. Thank you.
Yes, we support it. Thank you both so much. We appreciate it.